Did you have any other thoughts on the Barcelona game? Or
Just hopefully we're going to get into them. I think Barcelona was one of those games where if the Elanga ball in the Gordon in the last time that we played against them had gone in, if there hadn't been a complete whiffle ball of a shot from Gordon at that point, then maybe that game would have had a different outcome. It still probably would have led to us finishing in the last 16. So I guess in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't a big thing. I'm just hoping that Rashford isn't deciding to play like he's been the world's best player, like prime R9 this time, because he was I think he shocked a few people when we played against them last time. But yeah, just hopefully we can get at them and get a victory.
excellent. Fingers crossed for that one. So moving on to Chelsea away later in the week at the weekend. What are your thoughts on this one? Obviously, another Premier League game, a must win if we want to get Europe, I'm guessing. But what are your feelings against Chelsea?
I mean, Chelsea's another one of these teams who's been on a great run since the last manager came in. Well, not so much a great run, but they've started looking a bit more together as a team again. Um, I'm quite a big fan of a lot of players that Chelsea have, but they're definitely. I mean, they're probably still seeing themselves as having a fair shout at getting into the European qualification slots this season. So they're going to be hungry for this as we get into the business side of the season. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see any reason why we can't win that game. I mean, I think especially if we beat Barcelona midweek, then that sets us up nicely with a nice little Thursday, Friday, 4 days to get ready for that. Well, so 3 days and then the day of the 10 days.
No, I'm just helping you count. I thought you might need more
Oh,
fingers.
right. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Well, that helped, didn't it? Now I've just said 10 days on national radio. So there's 3 days, right, that we'll have to get ready for that game. And yeah, I mean, I think Chelsea, last time we played against them, we played really well. And people mocked the second half of that game, but I still think that we controlled it. We conceded a couple of goals due to individual errors, but nothing. I didn't see anything where we took lost control of the game altogether or anything like that. So, I'm hoping that we've got a lot of confidence by the time we get to that game because of beating Barcelona, and I hope that we turn Chelsea over and continue our late romp up the Premier League.
I mean, God forbid, but if we don't beat Barcelona, do you think it turns the Chelsea game into a different result? Do you think it makes it a harder game, or do you think it makes it then a must win game?
I think we take every game one game at a time anyway, so I don't think the result against Barcelona will have any big difference outside of confidence levels. But in saying that, confidence levels has never been something that we've been very consistent with. Like, I thought we'd be buzzing with confidence after the Manchester United game, and then we tripped over Manchester City. So it doesn't always play out like that. I think what's going to make a difference is just how much effort we need to put in against Barcelona. Like, if we can, if it's end to end stuff for the whole game, and we're trying to if it's a level scoreline in the last 5 minutes, and we start pushing for the win, then maybe that's going to leave us a little bit more tired than it would otherwise. But I think we'll treat Chelsea just as the game by itself, and I think every game's must win from here on going forward if we do want to make a realistic late run for any sort of European position. So, but I think regardless of the Barcelona game, we're going to be looking at it like that. Because I don't think, even if we absolutely turn Barcelona over, I don't think we're going to be like, okay, well, we can just take our foot off the gas for the league now because we'll just win the Champions League. I don't think we're quite in that position.
This is a bit of a explosive question, Tina. Is this season now a complete failure domestically wise for us? So have we failed as a club this season, as a team in domestic football?
No, not in my opinion. I mean, and the failure this season is going to come from what your expectations were of this season. If the fact that we qualified for Champions League last year and won a trophy last year made you think that was going to open the floodgates to us winning every trophy this season and guaranteeing Champions League football year on year, then yeah, to those people, this is going to be a disappointing season because we're struggling with the league form. But I mean, this season we've seen, we've had a lot of injuries, we've had a lot of players missing, we've seen a tragic summer leading up to this season. A little bit of a confusion in the January window, which I still don't think we've got any clarity on exactly what happened there. But look, for me, a failure of a season is what's happening at Tottenham this year. That's they are having a bit of a failure of a season. The team's capitulating on itself. No matter which manager they bring in, the players aren't wanting to try. We've still got a group of lads who are going out there and putting the effort in. We've still got a manager who believes that he's the right man for the job. And look, I know, we would love it if we were in the top 6 every single minute of every single season. But you've got to remember, up until when the takeover happened, we weren't even guaranteed finishing in the top half of the table. Like, it wasn't even guaranteed that we were going to finish above the top 3 in the table. So, comparatively speaking to previous years, I don't think this is anywhere near being an absolute failure of a season. I'm not sure. Well, I say I'm not sure. But do you have any opposing views to that by any chance, Borky?
100%. In regards to this season, Premier League wise, at this point, we're in 12th place.
We are.
That's not good enough. Not
Why?
for the size. Well, because of the size of team we are now.
Look at Tottenham.
Under no. Well, let's not. Let's look at Newcastle United because that's what we had to discuss. Under any metric, we're failing this season in the league. We should be at least maybe 10, 15 points better off than we are at this point. So
based on what though?
Based on the fact that we spent £250 million in the summer, based on the fact of where we've finished previous seasons, and based on the fact of what the trajectory of this club is at the moment. So this club is progressing. This season we've regressed, and there are games where we have thrown away points. That's the most disappointing thing.
Don't get me wrong. There's definitely games that we've thrown. I mean, I've been disappointed in many a performance this season. In regards to like games where we've let ourselves, we've not looked at the horses, so to speak, or at the races, I think that the expression is. So I get that there's been games this season that have been dreadful, and I get that there's been bad performances, but I don't think that the fact that we spent 250 million is a reason to expect us to finish in the top 6. I mean, every other team spent money in the summer, and we are coming from a much lower position.
Can I just stop you there? Nobody's saying finish top 6. No, this is the problem that you guys, that people go on mentioning.
You're only talking to me,
being unrealistic. I'm not sitting here saying we should finish 6. What I'm saying is we should be a lot better off points wise than we are. So we should be in a European place as a club. That's exactly where we should be.
I mean, we might still finish in a European place as a club. And look, I get it. It's frustrating that we've had off days, but everybody's had games this season where they've not picked up points against teams that they should have picked up points against. And that includes Manchester City, that includes Liverpool, that includes Manchester United, that includes Chelsea, that includes Arsenal. Even though they are doing a little bit better than I was really expecting them by this point, because they rarely get it to this point of the season still on this run of form. But look, I mean, realistically, this season, every team has had that, and we've suffered a little bit more because we still haven't adapted as a club to having that extra game per week of being in the Champions League and playing against the elite of Europe.
Live on YouTube,
on the website,
on DAB,
and on your smart speaker. NUFC Talk Radio.